What is going on, guys? This is Heel Turns and High Spots, the episode 1 of our new podcast. Charlie, how are you doing on that side of the ring?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be here. We've done a lot of practice sessions and just happy to finally be live. Well, not live, but
Yeah,
live.
sorry we couldn't bring this live for you guys. I didn't know that you had to sign up for live streaming on YouTube. So our next episode will be live though.
There it is.
It is what it is here, but we're going to be talking about the Supercard of Honor show last night, as well as the Dynamite show from the I should have grabbed the date from the 30th, and we're gonna have a great show. I know we got Wrestlemania
it'll
tonight.
Be a long one. It'll be a marathon, but
it is gonna be a marathon.
You guys will stick around. It'll be a fun one.
Yes, sir. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into
it. So Supercard of Honor was in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. It was overall a fantastic show. The first show that Tony Kahn, as Ring of Honor's owner, and let me just say, he put on a great card. The names on this card in itself were fantastic, and it lived up to the hype and exceeded the hype, in my personal opinion. So first up was Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane. Freeman, I don't know if you remember, we've seen Alex Zane before.
We have.
He was at the GCW show in Harpo's. Was it Harpo's?
I think it was Harpo's. Yep. So me and Charlie went to a GCW show. There's actually those are the clips that I posted on my TikTok. But that was really cool seeing those people get hit with the light bulbs.
Oh yeah, so it was GCW does their first half of the show is pure wrestling, and the second half is extreme wrestling. Let's get into the match.
Yep.
Crowd was hot with the Swerve's House chants.
Yes,
and,
sir.
They had a very high-paced, high-flying match. From the undercard, we kind of got a side of more technical wrestling of Ring of Honor, kind of like an introduction of the whole show. But this definitely highlighted the high-flying aspect of Ring of Honor. In my personal opinion, there's seldom companies that do it better than Ring of Honor. Their high-flying matches are realistic. There's no everybody group up and stand at the edge of the ring and wait for the guy to do the tope. There's none of that crap. But it was a great match. And Alex Zane hit a sick, disgusting Poison Rana to Swerve Strickland to the outside. And the story of the match was pretty much Alex Zane kicking out of Swerve Strickland's finishers. That was pretty much what it was. Swerve Strickland had to throw the entire moveset at him, but he eventually did get the 3 count. It was a great intro to the card.
Oh yes, sir. I think that was a great match. I love seeing Swerve Strickland on AEW television. I don't know what WWE was doing when they just released him, but I mean he's gonna be he's a phenomenal piece with AEW, and I'm excited to see what he does in the coming days.
Yes, he's not a main carder yet. He can be.
No,
but I see him as like a elevated
mid carder.
Mid carder.
Yeah.
He could win the TNT title and nobody would bat an eye.
No.
He could beat Scorpio Sky on next Friday.
Yep.
And nobody would bat an eye.
I mean, I hate Scorpio Sky. Phenomenal wrestler, just a great bad guy,
Piece of shit.
But one thing we forgot to touch on before the match is I wanted to touch on how Tully Blanchard in the pre-show came out with Quan and Toa Liauna. Sorry if I butchered that, but he announced that they are going to be Tully Blanchard's surprise clients, and Tully Blanchard, my bad, was forming the Tully Blanchard Enterprise. It was like the Tully Blanchard Enterprise, I think it's called.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Andre
so I did want to throw that in there because that is kind of a big deal later on in the night.
Yeah, it was actually a big deal the next match.
The next match.
Actually, not the next match. That was on the pre-show. Is when
Yeah.
we saw those guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Pardon my bad.
Yep.
The
So
next match,
yeah.
the Ninja Mac match,
Correct.
was the Brian Cage match. That's when Tony Blanchard came out and announced Brian Cage. It was incredible, and it's no secret that TK didn't know. Maybe not TK himself, but AEW didn't know what to do with Brian Cage.
Yeah.
They turned him face because somebody had to face Ricky Starks, and he got hurt, and now he's back, and they still don't know what to do with him. This is why it was a great idea for him to buy Ring of Honor. Brian Cage will shine in Ring of Honor. He will shine. You know? Get it? He doesn't need to be on AEW. He doesn't need to be on Dark. Everybody knows he's a beast. What he needs now is character development.
Correct.
And the only way to do that is with TV time.
Yep.
And right now there's not enough TV time on Dynamite or Rampage. So Ring of Honor, perfect opportunity for Brian Cage. But yeah, as for the match, there's really nothing to say. It was a squash match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Brian Cage pinned Ninja Max. And then after the match, Tully Group stands tall in the ring. So. It was definitely great seeing Brian Cage. He definitely quieted the E-drones that were complaining that, like, you know, oh, why aren't we seeing Brian Cage on television right now? And so I think this should give the Brian Cage E-drones, you know, something to be happy about. Brian Cage is actually back on television now, and
now that they actually watch it,
yeah,
they're just like looking for something to complain about.
Exactly, and it's gonna be great to see what Tully Blanchard brings. We saw what Tully Blanchard brought to the FTR, which, I mean, FTR is already great in their own right, but
they don't need him anymore.
They don't need him. So Tully Blanchard now can elevate Brian Cage. So perfect for Tully Blanchard. No complaints there from me.
Yep.
So the next match we had Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty, and so it was interesting to me here. So this is my first Ring of Honor show I've ever watched ever.
Really?
So it was great to see. Like, literally, I've never even seen any like videos on YouTube or anything. Like, I've seen Daniel Bryan come out to the final countdown a couple times, but nothing like really thing. So I was really like watching each matches to see if the AEW superstars would use like the Code of Honor. So
yes.
So that's what I wanted to know.
Yes, bro.
So I did write that there was the Code of Honor in this match, and Lethal handshaked Lee Moriarty. So that was a nice. It was a slow start to the match. Dueling chants from the crowd. Great fight atmosphere, Charlie. Felt like we were playing 2K like last
Literally.
night. Mid-direction in the middle of the ropes, Jay Lethal jumped to the outside and got Lee Moriarty. That was pretty cool. Lethal was kicking to Moriarty's hurt knee throughout the match, and that was kind of the selling point of the match. And couple of great spots in the match. There was pins back and forth. Like, I think they pinned each other at least 7 times.
Yeah, there's a website that keeps track of that. I would actually be really interested to see.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see how many pins there are. Then at the end of the match, Lethal low blows Lee Moriarty, hits the lethal injection, and pins Lee. And so my question to you, Charlie, is Jay Lethal going heel on AEW television?
Is he?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We saw sprinkles of this in Rampage. When he lost to, I believe it was Mox, he said something has to change. And I believe that this is what had to change. The announcers said they were talking like Lethal has always lived by the Code of Honor. And he's always frowned upon people using dirty tactics. But now, because he has to resort to them, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that's the story that's going to be going on. But Lethal's the champion, so
he is a champion, I didn't say so. Jay Lethal beat Matt Sydal, and I don't remember who their like Jay Lethal's friend was. I don't have that name, but
Yeah, I think that was his buddy from Ring of Honor.
yeah, it was,
We don't think
and
we haven't seen him in
yeah,
AEW.
and I just didn't know his name. But after the match, Jay Lethal beat Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
Up, and then so I was trying to. I'm trying to make sure that like I'm not. I'm trying to make sure that this happened now and not later, because I'm trying not to get things mixed up. But then the guy talked Jay Lethal down and kind of calmed him down, and then Lethal walked to the back with being the new champion.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. As for the heel turn goes, I think it will elevate him.
It will elevate him.
Yeah. I think it might be time for him to join a faction. I would love to see him with the Jericho Appreciation. Oh no, we can't because they said that it's just those 5.
I think.
What about William Regal's squad?
That would not be bad. I don't know how many people they want in that group though, because it seems like they already got Wheeler Yuta going in that group. So Tony Khan probably doesn't want to add that many people like right off the rip, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love Jay Lethal. I'm glad that he's not like, because he was on Dark. So obviously like before the match with Adam Cole, we really didn't see him on AEW television. We just, I mean, because he was on Dark. So it's great to see.
Losing. He just loses in Rampage main events.
Correct. I mean, his past 3 matches, correct me if I'm wrong, before last night, he's lost. He lost to Adam Cole. He took a loss to Jon Moxley. And then he took a loss to, I can't remember the last one. Ricky Starks. So it's great to see that they actually have plans for Jay Lethal, because he is an amazing professional wrestler.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see what he does with his heel turn. It's only going to elevate him.
And as we've been saying, in Ring of Honor is going to give people more TV time, you know?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have put him on the pay-per-view if he wasn't going to be on Ring of Honor television.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And it's great to see that all these people, I don't know if you've seen it, because I definitely have, but all the people that complain that AEW's roster is so bloated, it's because that they're trying to make their roster as big as possible, so that when the time comes and they need a streaming service, that they can get that money from a suitor, because they're going to look at their roster and be like, my God, like this is the most incredible roster we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's only going to be more money for AEW in that TV deal.
Yeah, and when that TV deal eventually comes, they already purchased all of Ring of Honor's tapes.
Exactly. So that
AEW's got 4 years of work behind them, 3-4 years of work behind them.
Exactly. So pretty soon we'll be able to go on the streaming service and watch Punk vs Samoa Joe from.
Yeah, we can go on the Roku and back.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that match. Jay Lethal again beats Matt Sydal after a low blow and a lethal injection for the win.
Yeah. And next up was Willow, who's a Ring of Honor original, versus Mercedes Martinez, who we've just seen in the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa feud.
Can I say something before you start this match?
Of course.
So why is I felt I didn't think there needed to be a need for an interim women's title on this show.
So I know this makes me a terrible host, but I don't know why their champion was out. I would assume COVID?
So actually their champion had a match tonight somewhere else.
No way.
Or I guess it was last night, but yes, I don't remember. I don't know where at, but I think it wasn't House of Glory. I want to say it might have been Impact. Maybe I think it was Impact.
It was Impact. It was Impact.
I think it was Impact, and so it just feels like it literally. You know what situation it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Cody Rhodes situation.
Yeah.
And literally, like, Tony Kahn just did the exact same thing. But so I don't get why you need an interim women's title in this in this show. Why couldn't you
Yeah.
just wait?
Well,
Maybe
I would
maybe
say
because it was
to
Supercard in
showcase
honor.
Willow, probably
Yeah.
to showcase Willow, and they needed a high stakes women's match on this card. There wouldn't have been another one, and you know how bad women's tag team matches are.
Yeah.
Usually, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that this was the right choice, and I rated it as 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a fine match.
Yeah, it was a great match. Very technical.
Yeah, yeah. Willow is like I was telling you before we started recording. I'm a huge fan of her now. She is going to be a great baby face, and she will be AEW Women's Champion. Diana Peruzzo, I believe, is the women's champion's name. She has a win over her, and so does Mercedes Martinez. So that was kind of the story going into it. It was kind of a finisher off. You know what I mean? They just kept hitting each other with signatures and finishers. A lot of false finishers. Yeah, Mercedes Martinez hit her with a Fisherwoman's suplex for a 2. A very close 2 count. Crowd lit up like a wildfire. Then Willow comes back and hits her with a beautiful angle slam for another 2 count. And Willow goes up on the top rope, does, I believe, a senton, right?
Yep.
Is it a senton? And then kind of checks on Mercedes Martinez. It looked weird. It looked weird. But essentially Mercedes Martinez gets her shoulders up. I'm just gonna, because I like to live in kayfabe, I'm gonna say because Willow is such a nice person that he was checking on Mercedes Martinez. In kayfabe, that is my explanation. But yeah, Mercedes Martinez kind of like wrestles out of it, starts her comeback in kind of like a weird finish and puts her in a sleeper, and that was that.
You forgot after the right as soon as Mercedes kicked out of that right angle slam, Willow hit this move called Pounce, bro. And she literally so she starts in one corner, and then she kind of like runs as fast as she could into Mercedes.
Oh yeah,
and
then does a front flip.
Yeah, and she calls that
was
Pounce, and then she hit her into the rope, so there was a rope break. But that was a pretty cool move because I literally have never seen that move before. So
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
and
mean,
you're gonna be seeing that a lot in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I know that your wrestling started in WWE, and you were kind of secluded in that ecosystem for a little bit.
I was.
Yeah, yes, you were. But yeah, so you'll learn as you kind of expand your palette into like more indie stuff in Ring of Honor. Like, you haven't seen the half of it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, these people, like, if you just watch a Jonathan Gresham match, you wouldn't see a quarter of those moves. You know,
I mean,
in a WWE match.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jonathan Gresham when we get to Jonathan Gresham, but man, what a match!
It was just yes. But yeah, overall it was a fun match and a great lead-in to the best match on the card, FTR versus the Briscoes.
I am gonna say this is the best tag team match I think I've ever watched.
Yes, second best for me.
What was your first?
Gotta be Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks all out.
I think, for me, I think this was actually better than it.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from, simply because it didn't need a stipulation.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, what was great about this is, literally, I feel like this match has been in the works for like 6 or 7 months. FTR and the Briscoes have been tweeting each other back and forth. And just, like, they really, if you think about it, they really only sold this match on tweets. Mm-hmm. And so that was great to see. No promos.
There was no in-ring promos, no pre-tapes, none of that.
And there
was a pre-tape.
Yeah,
that was just
that was just,
but, you know what I'm talking
Yeah, but like there was no promos leading up for the match. We literally just got a great tag team wrestling match. And you know, there's nothing great in wrestling than tag team wrestling, Charlie.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Let's get started here and break this match down. So this match was just all over. I don't even know where I want to start. Like, to start the match, Dax Hardwood and Cash and Mark Briscoe started out. And after going back and forth, Cash tags and Dax, and they finally enter the ring and they immediately get in each other's faces, and then they tie up. Finally, Jay Briscoe locks in a head scissors and he starts biting Dax, and then Dax exits the ring, and it kind of takes a second, and so that was a great moment, I thought. And when he exited the match, Jay Briscoe hit a tope suicida, and I've never seen like a big guy like the Jay Briscoe hit a tope suicida. So that was very, very neat to see.
His brother had to like lower the rope a little bit for him.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. So that was a very nice touch. And then the Briscoes double team Dax. A very nice touch. Basically they were fighting around the ring, and the FTR had the Mark Briscoe, under like a table, one of those wooden tables, and they basically drove his head into the table, under the ring. So that's how Mark started to bleed. When they returned to the ring, it looks like Dax hurt his hand. So I thought that was going to be like a story throughout the match, but it really wasn't.
No.
In the match, Dax hit a nice superplex on Jay Briscoe. And I've seen over the past couple of weeks, like we've seen FTR wrestle the Young Bucks, not the Young Bucks. We have. But like when Dax wrestled Punk, I thought, or not Punk, but I can't remember what tag team it was, but they do this a lot. You know, they're so old school that like when they tag each other in, they just instantly, you know, cut off the other person trying to hot tag, and it's just such a nice touch because I don't see a lot of tag. Yeah, it does, and I don't see a lot of tag teams doing that. Like I saw Gun Club do it, but like I really don't see a lot of AEW tag teams do that. So it's just a great touch.
Lucha Bros specifically don't do it. But yeah, tag team wrestling, what makes it so great is it's the elements of realism to it.
It is.
It is. I don't know why it's so different from a singles match. Maybe because it kind of feels more like a sport of sorts. You know, there's the element of having to tag the other person, the extra layer of strategy to it. And when a team knows that and is aware of that, it can create something beautiful.
Oh yeah, I mean it can't get any better than that. No. And I think the Briscoes hit about 3 redneck boogies on FTR. And I think FTR hit just the same big rigs. So, so another Mark hit a nasty Uranagi suplex on Dax, which was pretty nice.
Great pronunciation. Actually, that was a great pronunciation.
And then the Briscoes came back with a redneck boogie. Cash kicked out at 2. Later in the match, FTR hit a springboard power bomb into it, and I think it was a elbow drop from Cash. Kick out at 2. The Briscoes hit a big rig on Dax, and Dax kicked out. I love seeing people get their finishers hit on them. It's such a great spot. And then in the ring, at the end of the match, basically both Dax and Jay had blood raining down their faces, and they were teeing off in the ring. The Briscoes hit another big boogie bomb on Dax. He kicks out at 2. Jay tags in Mark, but FTR counters and hits a big rig of their own from their win. FTR, your new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. You'll love to see it.
What a match. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 from me,
I'm not Meltzer, but I'm giving it a Meltzer 5-star.
Yes, sir.
It's just incredible. And it just a big match feel. It felt like I was watching a boxing pay-per-view.
It
Just like
did.
the crowd knows it, the fighters know it, everybody knows it. This is a huge ass moment.
This chant even got a "fuck WrestleMania" chant. This match, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter, but I did not notice that.
Yes. The crowd was chanting "fuck WrestleMania," and they were chanting "This is awesome." All those, all the normal ones we see. And so after the match, the Young Bucks attacked the Briscoes in the ring, and FTR kind of like was already running out of the ring by this point. So they were kind of already back into the locker room, but they actually ran back down and came back down and helped the Briscoes. And Dax grabs a mic and says, "Not only we got to wrestle the greatest team of all time, but we have one more round in us. How about Bucks versus FTR tonight for the Ring of Honor Championships?" And I don't know who it was, Matt or Nick Jackson, but he took the mic and he says, "That's perfect," on Wednesday night. So it's nice to see you all again. We started a new company and then we purchased you guys. And we'll see FTR. As for you, we will see you guys on Wednesday. And Dax comes back and says, "We will beat your ass." So we get FTR versus the Young Bucks 2 on Wednesday night.
Hell yeah, bro.
I cannot wait for Wednesday night.
It was announced later that night that it will be for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships and the AAA World Tag Team Champions. They need a... I don't watch a shit ton of AAA, but I do know that they defend the tag team championships more on AEW than they do in AAA. They have to. They absolutely have to.
I feel like in the past 7 months, I feel like Cash and Dax have only defended that once in Mexico.
It had to, yeah. There was that big match against those I think Bandido and some other guy.
And then I feel like that was about around the time. Was that around the time that? No, it was not around the time that Kenny Omega was there. But that was way after. But yeah, great match. So I cannot wait for Wednesday. We also get to see somebody later on who we'll get to when the time comes. But great match. I mean, literally best tag team match I've ever seen. So, and I'm not kidding when I've seen that. So
yeah, it was, and I don't. If I'm telling you, if somebody tells me that, I'm not gonna say that they're wrong.
Yeah,
I just can't. You can't.
I mean, if somebody comes up to me, Charlie, and tells me that the Briscoes are the best tag team in the world, you won't hear any complaint from me. If you tell me that the FTR is the best tag team in the world, you will not hear any complaints from me. I think,
and I am telling you that the Briscoes are the best tag team in the world.
And I'm telling you,
I seriously do think so.
And I'm telling you, FTR is the greatest tag team in the world.
Well, there we go. And we just got a dream match for us.
And we just got a...
But yeah. What sucks is that somebody has to follow this up. And
always.
Unfortunately, or actually I would say fortunately, it was Minoru Suzuki, because how could you not pop for Minoru Suzuki?
He's great.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, he's a Japan guy. He's known as this extreme shoot fighter, badass. He's a Pancrase champion. He was on Dynamite a few times.
Yep, we've seen him in Dynamite.
He Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, and Jon Moxley, I believe.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Wow, that must have been a great match. So yeah, it was the Minoru Suzuki against Rhett Titus. I haven't seen much of Rhett Titus. I think I've seen him in GCW a few times, although I could be completely false there. But he did seem very familiar. And I did remember that some guy had a dropkick as his finisher. Who the hell is a dropkick as their finisher? Did you notice that?
I actually did not notice that.
Rhett Titus, his finisher, the move he uses to finish matches, is a dropkick.
So literally, the weird thing to me with this match is this match went 5 minutes, and literally I remember seeing Minoru Suzuki walk out, and then next time I looked at the TV, I was literally taking my notes, and I look up, and then he won. So
yeah,
it's 5 minutes. I mean, it was just a come down match. Is really all it was.
It had to be. And to get the crowd back in it, I assume this is why they dropped the title to Minoru Suzuki, but they got that title change to get the crowd back in it.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was the second title change of the night.
It was the second title change.
Of 3. There was a lot of title changes, and yeah, I mean, we've seen Minoru Suzuki on AEW, but the other 2 title changes were AEW guys.
Yeah, and
which is something that I can't lie, I'm a little bit concerned with.
So, do you think? I kind of think that I'm kind of echoing. Hold on. Okay. I think that what Tony Khan was trying to do with this pay-per-view was, I mean, because this is the first pay-per-view of Ring of Honor that he bought, obviously. So you got to remember that some of the Ring of Honor champions, Tony Khan might not like them as champion. So at the same time, where I mean, there has to be almost this like give and take to where like Tony Khan has to kind of make the Ring of Honor fans happy, but also kind of put a good product on TV. So it's kind of a hard place for Tony Khan right now, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. And I don't know if there are. I'm sure there are. But I probably not many. But pure Ring of Honor fans, like, I only watch Ring of Honor. I doubt it. I would say most Ring of Honor fans move to AEW. And if Ring of Honor does turn into like a feeder system for AEW, I can see how it could make sense.
I think it will. Yeah.
But I still gotta tell you guys what happened in this match. Minoru Suzuki, it was a grappling match. This could have been under pure rules and nobody would have even noticed. I don't think, left the ground at all. This whole match, I think they stayed on the ground pretty much the whole time, except for there was this really cool spot at the end of the match where Minoru Suzuki faked a rear naked choke, which is what he was been trying to do pretty much the whole match, is get this rear naked choke. But when he finally got it, he faked it and brought it into a pile driver, which I thought was a really, really cool spot. Just kind of like you think I got this? Nope, I'm actually using it for that. And it just kind of showing the veteranship of Minoru Suzuki. But I think he'll be a good champion if he can, keep showing up in America. I know he doesn't live here, and Japan's not close.
No, it's actually like 17 hours away, in matter of fact. But Minoru Suzuki's great every time I see him, so.
Yeah. He puts on bangers after bangers. This wasn't a banger, but it was a fine match.
Yeah, fine match. I mean, it definitely wasn't no Briscoes versus FTR, but.
Yep. But the crowds, because it was Minoru Suzuki, thank God. If it was literally anybody else, this match would have sucked ass. Simply because it was after FTR Briscoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did his job. Next up was the Pure Champion Chip. And do you know the Pure rules, Freeman?
I do know the pre-rules. I have them right in front of me, actually.
All right. Do you want to read them off?
I can read them off for the people. So the Pure Ring of Honor, the 3 wrestling rules are: each wrestler has 3 rope breaks to stop a submission, holds, and pinfalls during the matchup. After a wrestler exhausts the 3 pin attempts, it doesn't matter if your foot's on the rope. It doesn't matter if you grab the rope when you're getting submitted. If you pass out or whatever, the match is over. It's there's no more rope breaks after those 3 attempts.
Right.
There are no close fist punches to the face allowed in a pure match. Only open-handed slaps or chops to the face are allowed. And then a wrestler is subject to a 20 count by a referee if the wrestler goes to the floor.
Yeah. Nailed it. So this is my favorite championship in pro wrestling. There's a few championships that are just different. Because anybody can get a World Heavyweight Championship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Technically. But titles like the X Division Championship, the Cruiserweight Championship, the Pure Championship, like, these are championships that only a select few wrestlers can obtain because of their skill set. You know what I mean?
And I mean,
that's why this is go for it.
So I know like what do you call it? We were kind of talking before we hit record that obviously we'll talk about it when we get to Dynamite. But Wheeler Yuta put on a phenomenal dynamite show with Daniel Bryan. So that only made me more excited for tonight because I knew that Wheeler Yuta is just so great, and it was so great being able to see Wheeler Yuta again have a very technical matchup after he just got done wrestling arguably the greatest technical wrestler on the planet in Daniel Bryan. So, that just made me more excited for tonight. That's all I got to say there.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it from just like a logical standpoint, after facing Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, it can't get much more difficult than that. And I literally watched the match, the Danielson Yuta match before we hit record, and you will see. And I don't know if he did this intentionally, but if he did, that's dope. A lot of the moves that he tried to hit on Danielson but couldn't, he was able to hit on Josh Woods. And I thought that was an amazing touch. All right, let me get into it though. So first thing I noticed is that Josh Woods has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. Just the way he gives the opponent a limb and then kind of uses it as bait to regain control in his own way. And also I noticed the way that he attacked the back. What I mean by that is like if one person is like right here and another person is right here, this is attacking the back. This guy's trying to choke this guy out. And just the way that he was able to do that, I was very similar to a person who studied jujitsu would do. So they start off with a lot of quick pins, like a lot of roll-ups, and they try to take each other down, but eventually Josh Woods gets in Wheeler Yuta into a butterfly submission and forces Wheeler Yuta to use his first rope break. Like Freeman said, you only get 3, and after the 3, it doesn't matter anymore. So, like I was saying, after that, they break up, and Josh Woods gives Wheeler Yuta his leg as like a, here, take this, I'm giving this to you. And he, like I said, he uses this to get to his back. Just pure grappling. This match is fantastic, and I love realism in wrestling. This is as real as it gets. If you want to have a match that doesn't allow strikes to the head, you can strike anywhere else on the body, and you can grapple, this is what it would look like. You know what I mean? This is what an MMA fight looks like. So yeah, after that, Yuta gets the ropes for the second time after Josh Woods goes for the wrist lock. The story's kind of that Josh Woods is the better wrestler, but Yuta's the better grappler. But yeah, after that, Josh Woods kind of gives him some space and offers a handshake, and Wheeler Yuta spits in his face. And after that, Josh Woods has to go into the ropes after Wheeler Yuta gets him in a figure 4. It's kind of like the battle of the leg locks right here. And Yuta's showing an aggressiveness that very, I don't want to just roll with the punches like that, but very William Regal-esque, I have to say. Very William Regal-esque, very Bryan Danielson-esque.
I noticed that.
Yep, and they exchange blows in the middle of the ring, and Wheeler Yuta jumps off the top rope, but catches a knee by Josh Woods. Josh Woods knees the hell out of Wheeler Yuta, and he collapses, and he kicks out at 2. Great, fantastic, that, like, realism. That if you want to go on the top rope, you got to watch out for the knee. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
So that after Josh Woods picks him back up and spiral suplexes him into the turnbuckles, and Wheeler Yuta gets to the ropes, which is his third rope break, which means Josh Woods can literally use the ropes as submissions. Like, he could choke him out with the ropes if he wants. That's illegal. But yeah, then after that, Wheeler Yuta kind of starts his comeback and gets him with some Bryan Danielson elbows, which leads him to trap Josh Woods up and get the pin.
Yeah, great match. I think that, have you noticed that on AEW television a lot, like literally I feel like the past like 4 weeks, every week we've had somebody kick another person in midair or like do their move midair, like 4 weeks in a row now.
Okay.
Like
I guess I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, like I feel like Adam Cole at Revolution. Remember he hit that nasty super kick in midair to Hangman. Yep. Then I feel like Danielson hit a kick on someone. And obviously I'm missing a couple, but like I think CM Punk did another one. But it's just great to see all of they're just so great spots. And so it's great to see just when you get kicked in midair, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it looks dope.
It does look
And there's like a second where like the crowd's like, "Oh, what happened?" And then
Yeah.
like you realize like, "Oh, he got kneed in the face."
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Imagine being there
It just
live.
looks like a collision.
Yeah, imagine
What's
being.
that?
I said, imagine being there live.
Bro, that crowd was so hot.
Yeah.
That crowd was louder than the Dynamite crowd this week.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And we didn't talk about this at the start of the thing. We probably should have, but I liked how the ramp kind of was in the middle, like literally, like it was like when it was on the cam, the cam was looking straight down the ramp.
Okay.
And so usually you're on one side of the ramp, because usually like when you're on the hard cam, usually like the ring is to your like left. But on this, I know how they had it. It was like the ring was like straight in front of you. So I liked how that was from a production point of view. But but back to like Wheeler Yuta. I cannot wait to see what he does with Daniel Bryan now. I mean, hopefully we see some. I'm sure we'll see something on Wednesday's Dynamite, but I mean, we definitely saw something this past Wednesday on Dynamite that we'll get into after we talk about Ring of Honor. But so it's great to see I can't wait to see what Wheeler Yuta does in the coming days.
Yeah, he just needs to look a little bit more meaner. I don't really know how we can get it done. He just looks a little bit like.
Hey, if there's any good teachers, it's William Regal, Daniel Bryan, and Jon Moxley. So
yeah, he needs some new ring gear. He needs a haircut, and he needs a good shave.
Yeah, he ain't in the best friends anymore. So.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So after this match, we then move on to the main event of the evening. Jonathan Gresham versus Bandio for the Ring of Honor title. And man, this was another banger of a match. I've never seen either of these guys wrestle, and man, I've heard a lot of Bandio though, and I know Bandio had a couple matches in House of Glory and a couple things like that. So I was very excited to watch Bandio, and as I said during the Lee Moriarty versus Jay Lethal match, they did use a code of honor in this match as well.
Even though Chavo didn't want him to.
And I didn't know that Chavo was actually with Bandido, so it was great to see Chavo Guerrero again. He's a great heel. Jonathan Gresham started this match and hit a Mexican takeover that looked great on Bandido, and Bandido responded with a pump knee. Then Jonathan hit a nice. Jonathan then drop kick Bandido, but unlike that match before, Charlie, he did not pick up the pin with a drop kick. So it's great to see that. Later in the match, Bandido lands a is holding Jonathan Gresham in a deadlift for a dead ass whole minute. The crowd literally counted to 60 seconds, Charlie. This was a phenomenal spot. I mean, what did you think of it?
I thought it was great. I haven't seen a ton of Bandido matches like yourself. He was amazing tonight. I mean, it was really the clash of two styles. Bandido reminds me of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
Kind of like a shoot style with some high flyer-esque tendencies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bandido surprised the hell out of me, and just the strength. Jonathan Gresham's not the biggest guy in the world, but that still can't be easy, right?
Yeah. Does Jonathan Gresham have any MMA experience? Because he looked like with his transitions. You know, it looked like with his transitions, like he was pretty, like he knew how to transition.
He might have been a wrestler. Let me see.
But all I could think about that throughout this match was Bandido looked a lot like the guy from 2K, Charlie.
The guy from, oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right.
El Mago. Yeah. That's all I was thinking about throughout this whole match. But while you're looking that up, I will continue with the match, and then we'll come back with that after. So, After a nice exchange, Gresham clotheslines Bandito and hits a German suplex into a bridge. And this was a common theme throughout the night. And every time somebody does it, I think Wheeler Yuta hit it a couple times. It just looks so nice, so clean. But this was a 2 count. And he actually repeated the same thing 3 times. And after that, he rolled into a crossface, and he transitioned from a crossface into an ankle lock into an octopus. And then Bandito just didn't want to do anything else, so he just fell straight forward into the ropes, so it breaks the submission. Then Chavo pushed Gresham, pushed Bandito out of the way, and then they immediately went back into the ring. There was a suplex by Bandito, I think, for a 2 count. Nice transition. And, man, the announcer called the match a human chess game. And to this point, I just thought that it was so true. And I know you play chess, but I don't. But, so I really can't, reference chess because I really don't know any of the chess matches. But all I can say is I know in chess you go back and forth. And, man, this was a back and forth matchup.
Yeah, it really was. And I just did some quick Googling. Gresham did have some amateur wrestling experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the announcer called it that, Bandito hit a nice super kick on Gresham, and then Chavo Guerrero throws the belt. It looked so weird too, because he literally just lobbed it, and it hit Gresham in the face, and then the ref kicked Chavo out. Gresham rolls up Bandito with a cutter, and he kicked out Bandito kicked out at 2. Bandito then hit a Bucks Wanted. Gresham kicked out. Gresham ropes up Bandito, traps Bandito, and he rolls up Bandito. Then he traps Bandito's shoulder so he couldn't kick out, and he picked up the victory.
Yeah, just going back, and I've said it before, and I'll say it probably every single podcast we ever have. Realism is key, and when the announcers said he's trapped, that meant to all the viewers he can't kick out. And guess what? He didn't. He didn't.
And that actually happened. Like you said, we talked about that in the last match.
The Wheeler Yuta
match. It was great to see. It's weird to me that they had 2 of these spots back to back like that.
Yes.
But
I used to watch WWE as a kid, and I always noticed that their roll-ups didn't look believable.
They don't.
Right?
Yeah.
When the roll-up happens in Ring of Honor, it's like, oh, this person's a superior grappler, and manipulated the other person's body so they couldn't kick out.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
It's so easy.
Yeah, hands down. After the match, Gresham took the mic, and he says, "My mission was to make Ring of Honor my life's goal." And after that, Jay Lethal comes on out and says, "Let me help you send the fans home happy. Now, how about I am the first challenge?" Gresham then says, "Your current actions have shown me that you have changed." Jay Lethal and Gresham then break out into an arguing fight, which then turns into a brawl. And then Lethal picks up the championships, and then Samoa Joe comes on out. We get Samoa Joe debuting here at Ring of Honor. He then put Jay Lethal's friend from earlier in the Kofina clutch. And then he brings Jonathan Gresham back in the ring, and he stands tall with him in the ring. And then Tony Kahn actually announced on Twitter that Samoa Joe will be on this Wednesday at on Dynamite to have some words. So Samoa Joe, great to see him. I was sad when WWE released him, so it's great to see him back with AEW.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell they released him, other than maybe they weren't negotiating a contract, were they?
No. So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was, if you guys don't know, so basically when NXT was transitioning from NXT 1.0 into 2.0. The first week of NXT 2.0, they put the title on Samoa Joe as their first champion, and then the next night or the next Tuesday on NXT, they made Samoa Joe relinquish the championship because he had a medical condition, and then they just kept him off TV, and then this was the next night we've seen him.
Yeah. First things first. Somebody get this man some new ring gear. He's been wearing the same musty ass red shorts for like 15 years, bro.
For real.
I swear to God. But
Hey.
jokes aside, it's really, really good to see him. I popped super, super hard. The commentary said that Samoa Joe's Jay Lethal's mentor. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did not know
as an
that.
element.
Yep.
And that's going to be a great feud on AEW. I hate to do this again, but just to sidetrack, AEW, just some more AEW praise. Such a good job of creating feuds that don't need a title.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great to see, like, there's only so many athletes, Charlie, that you can, like, look at them, and you legitimately know that if they walked into somebody on the side of the road, they could beat them up. And Samoa Joe is one of them guys. Like, you really have, like, Samoa Joe, you have Brock Lesnar, you have Roman Reigns, and that's about it. Maybe John Cena. You know, maybe Cesaro. But
Bobby Lashley, maybe.
Lashley. There's really not many of those guys in AEW, so it's great to see AEW get one of those type of stars.
Yeah. Big men are super important. I'm not a huge big man fan. I just personally, I don't think they create the match that I want to see.
Yeah.
But they are vital to a company. Every company needs them.
And Tony Kahn books them well, though, too.
Yes, this is true. This is very true. This is true. He books them in storylines. He doesn't just say, "You're big, get over." You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm happy to see him. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan.
Well, look at what happened with Keith Lee in WWE. Like, look at how he was booked. You know, Vince wanted him to be a typical big man, and we both know that Keith Lee's moveset is very different from a traditional big man. Like,
yes, he is not a traditional big man.
So I don't know why you would not want to use that on your show.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we got him in AEW, and that's what matters. So.
Yep, and I'm super excited to see what he does here. If he's gonna go up for a championship, because whenever one of these people come into AEW, you gotta ask: are they going to be the guy who beats the guy, or is they going to be the guy that puts over the guy? Samoa Joe is the guy who beats the guy.
He does.
Samoa Joe is going to beat Hangman Adam Page. Samoa Joe is going to beat Bryan Danielson. Samoa Joe is going to beat Kenny Omega. You know, he is a force, and he is going to be champion.
So right now, give me your prediction for the next AEW championship. Who's going to be the next AEW champion? Because I got my prediction, but I want to hear who yours is.
The next AEW champion. I want to say, even though I don't want it to be, Punk.
I don't think it's going to be Punk.
Who do you think it's going to be?
So let me say I can see it being Punk. And so let me say if it's Punk, I think what happens if it's Punk is Punk will hold the title for however long, and the person to beat Punk will be MJF.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. But now I also don't think that it'd be smart to. I really don't want to see a face like Punk take the title off Hangman though. I really want it to be a heel. But so I mean, really, with that being said, you got Adam Cole who's up there right now. You got MJF really as the big two heels at the top of AEW right now, and maybe now you have Jay Lethal, but I think out of any three of those guys, I would want it to be MJF because I don't want it to be Adam Cole because I think Adam Cole would just be a transitional champion at that point.
Yes.
And so I really don't want that to happen. So I think MJF would probably be the best bet right now.
How old is Adam Cole?
Adam Cole's young.
Oh yeah, he is young.
How old is he?
32. Yeah. So yeah. You don't want to waste his first championship on being a transition champ.
No.
I don't want Cole to win. I want this Cole feud to end. I wanted it to end 3 weeks ago. I need... let me fantasy book for a second. This is kind of like a Dynamite transition.
This is.
By the way, we're transitioning into Dynamite.
I switched the layouts, by the way, Char.
Perfect. Where was I?
You were talking about fantasy booking.
Oh yeah, let me fantasy book. So let me see. If Cole wasn't going for the championship, you could have Red Dragon interfere in the FTR Young Bucks match. You could have them screw over the Young Bucks because nobody's gonna get pinned clean in that match.
Yeah.
Young Bucks can't take out the loss.
Yeah.
And FTR's not dropping the Ring of Honor championship 5 days after they get them.
I say this about WWE all the time, Charlie, okay? And I like to say it, if there's no good ending, why book the match?
Because you need to stem another storyline. And that storyline is Red Dragon is interfering in the Young Bucks, setting up that feud.
You were exactly
But it
right.
doesn't make sense. It only makes sense if Adam Cole's not going for the championship. And right now, it looks like Adam Cole's going for the championship and Red Dragon's going for the tag team championships.
Yeah, I could also see...
They just lost a match, so it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's kind of like what you said. I think that what's going to end up happening is maybe Red Dragon screws over the Young Bucks, like you said, and maybe that's when we see Kenny Omega come back. And I think Kenny Omega is going to go right after Adam Cole. And because
I don't think Kenny Omega's... I think he's still got like 7 or 8 months left.
Gotcha. So I didn't know how long he had left, but if you remember, we just saw him on BTE. So to me, that was kind of just like, oh, hey, don't forget that Kenny's right here.
Yeah.
So I think when we see Kenny Omega, whenever that is, I think he goes right after Adam Cole, and we see Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Adam Cole and Red Dragon.
I think that would be a fantastic feud.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic feud. So many good trios, man.
Oh my god, I cannot wait till the trios title.
They didn't need the second women's title, bro.
No,
they should have gave us the trios titles right then and there, man. Ring of Honor has a trios title, though.
They do.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how it gets in. Maybe it's just
maybe. Hopefully.
The Ring of Honor trios.
Could you imagine, bro? House of Black with the Ring of Honor Trios Championship?
Yeah, we've been talking about this in our podcast, like run-throughs. We both think that that House of Black will be the first trios champions when AEW eventually gets trio champions. And I mean, the House of Black, man, they are freaking.
Who's gonna beat them?
Amazing. And do you I have the Rampage results if you want me to go over them quick.
I haven't watched it yet.
I also have not watched it quick, but I can just tell you guys who wins the matches, and that way we know what happens.
All right. Can we go through Dynamite first?
Yeah, let's go through Dynamite. We'll do it in chronological order. So let's go through Dynamite first, though.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. So Dynamite was in South Carolina. It was a quiet crowd, very quiet crowd. It was one of those crowds where you wonder if they've seen professional wrestling before. But
do you think Detroit's gonna be loud when we go?
Well, I think Detroit's a good wrestling town. Detroit was loud for GCW.
They were loud for GCW. If you guys did not know, me and Charlie are actually taking a trip to go see AEW Dynamite June 29th. So
yes, stay tuned for maybe we'll do a little podcast from situation.
Yeah, we might be doing a podcast from a car.
Yes, parked outside of the stadium that Dynamite was in.
Really it's really all that means, but.
Yep. So let's get her started. CM Punk came out first. It was CM Punk versus Matt Caster. CM Punk came out with some beautiful blue trim shorts, or trunks rather. Love the new fit. I remember him saying that Tay Conti helps him out fashion wise, and I think that's really funny. I think that's really funny. And Max Caster comes out, and he definitely does the Will Smith reference because everybody and their mom knew he was going to do the Will Smith reference. He did the Will Smith reference.
Well, it was the night before, wasn't it?
Kind of what's that?
I said it was the night before, right?
It was the night after.
Oh.
It was a few nights
it's
after.
About night. It was
because the Will Smith thing happened last. When was that?
Was it
last
Sunday?
Saturday? I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was a reward show, so it would have been Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. So this was the Dynamite after.
Yeah. Okay.
Max Caster does the Will Smith reference. But yeah, to me it was a very odd match because it seemed like they were trying to say that Max Caster was a better wrestler than CM Punk, and they kind of did this with the Wardlow situation. But the Wardlow situation makes more sense because Wardlow, you want to build him as a beast. But the first 5 minutes of this match was Max Caster beating the hell out of CM Punk, which left CM Punk's victory, which he eventually got from the Andicon device, kind of like a scraped by the skin of his teeth situation. You know what I mean? Like he stole the victory. But just some highlights here. Max Caster hit a kind of like a coast to coast, like a Shane McMahon coast to coast. He wasn't all the way at the turnbuckle, but it was a pretty far coast to coast. And Tony Schiavone in the crowd, who's, like I said, extremely quiet, completely no-sold it. But yeah, it was a fine match. I would like to see maybe the FTR match open this show up. Instead, this one wasn't a very great opener. But I understand CM Punk opening the show is always like a decent choice. You know what I mean?
It was the Punk when the Punk Anaconda voice was a pretty nice transition because before that Punk hit a tombstone and then he transitioned into the Anaconda voice, so that was pretty cool.
Realism.
Realism.
He took like a stun meter in 2K. Like after the tombstone, he got the stun meter, which allowed him to get the Anaconda voice.
That is exactly what happened, and so that was great to see. I love when a wrestler transitions from one move into another move. It just looks flawless.
It does. It's something that I say this a million times. I don't watch WWE, but I used to. And you didn't see this in WWE back then. And I know you don't see it in 2022. That gumpy ass wrestling.
Yeah. Speaking of WWE and WrestleMania, we really haven't figured out what we're doing yet. As regards to our WrestleMania review, it's either gonna be tonight and tomorrow, or just tomorrow, or I'm sorry, just Monday. But stay tuned to our Twitter for updates regarding that, and our Twitters that are on the screen now. So Freebird Prodigy for me and C Belleville for Charlie. And then which is now making me realize that we need to put the actual heel turns and high spots Twitter on this.
Alright, we'll do that later.
But I will do that later.
Yeah.
And not much else to say about this match. Good match.
Yeah, Punk cuts a promo.
Yeah, CM Punk did cut a promo.
Yeah, and Tony Schiavone asked him why he was doing the old title thing, and Punk said it's pretty obvious why I was doing the old title thing. It's because I want the title, right? And that came out to a huge reaction. And Punk convinced me that he's in it for the long haul. That was pretty much the theme of this promo, was that he's here to stay. And he goes, there's some gray in my beard right now. There's going to be a whole lot more by the time I'm finished, right?
Yep.
And so that really made me believe that he's here for the long haul. And something that I already knew, but it's just really good confirmation.
I wonder how, I heard he only signed like a 3-year deal.
He'll resign.
You think he signs for longer, or do you think he retires from entering competition after the 3-year deal?
Well, when he is done, I can't see him just leaving. He would have a backstage role for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wouldn't be, unfortunately, I think for Punk's sake, because he missed so much time, he's going to want to wrestle till he literally can't.
Yeah.
And I think there's really no telling what the big injury will be that puts him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hopefully it never happens, and hopefully he can wrestle a safe career for the rest of his life. But I think because he missed so much time, he wants to make up for it, which will in turn end his career with a big injury because he's gonna eventually be too old to do this.
Yeah. And with that being said, though, AEW knows how to handle their legends. I mean,
Yes.
look at how they're booking Sting right now.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Sting,
How did Sting not got hurt? Like that dude's hips, like, it's insane.
he wrestles like 3 matches. He wrestles 3 matches in a year.
He freaking does topes in every one of
them. For real. But I mean, I love Sting, man. I love Sting. I'll never forget when he came out, bro, at Survivor Series in 2014 with that match against the Authority versus Team Cena. And WWE.
And then they butchered it.
Yep. He only had 2 matches in WWE.
And wasn't it
actually 3 matches? He had 3 matches. The first match was Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania 31. Mm-hmm. And then he wrestled John Cena in a tag team match on Raw. I'm sorry, he wrestled with John Cena in a tag team match on Raw. And then his final match was against Seth Rollins for the WWE and the United States Championship match. And that's when he hurt his neck. And that's when he basically got WWE didn't really want him anymore. But anyway, so we got sidetracked, but that's gonna happen.
We did a little bit. It happens.
But then we get after the CM Punk promo, we get into an MJF promo, and let me say, before I go into it, that so before this promo, as basically the Punk match was getting under the way, you saw an AEW official kind of go around where the cam was pointing at, and he was pointing up signs, and you really couldn't see what the signs were until this MJF promo. So this MJF promo so literally an AEW official, the first thing you see is the AEW official that you saw at the beginning of the show. He immediately puts this Wardlow sign on the monitor in the back, and it basically was Wardlow, don't let this guy in. And there were hundreds of them on around the ring, bro. Hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. And and Wardlow goes, MJF says, Wardlow doesn't exist, but the Pinnacle starting tonight, we are moving on up. Dax says, we don't want to get in the middle of you guys, you're our friends. And MJF says Wardlow didn't like the FTR, but that they're the Pinnacle, and the Pinnacle is always on top.
Yep.
So after this match, we get Jay Lethal versus Jon Moxley.
Can I interfere really quick?
You can interfere really quick.
Yeah. So this is just the sprinkle of the FTR face turn coming for the Bucks match. And we even got some more of that in Ring of Honor as they tried to help you rescue the Briscoes. It's just trying to avoid the whole face versus face big match situation, And so I think that after the match with the Bucks, I think FTR will make good faces. I think they should stay faces.
Yeah, I think especially if you want to put him with Bret Hart, if that's the going rumor right now, because that is the going rumor right now. I think it's going to be great to see Bret the Hitman back on television. I'm so stoked for it. Especially with the Owen Hart, championship, or the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament that they got going on right now in the women's side of things. They're going to be doing great things with Bret Hart and just honoring Owen Hart. So
yeah.
So now we're into the Jay Lethal versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, of course, is a member of the Blackpool Combat Club, Charlie, which we kind of talked about earlier. Which I didn't really know this, but Jon Moxley is currently on a 10 match, now 11 match winning streak.
As it should be.
He's only lost a total of 5 matches in his whole AEW career.
And I think 2 of them were to Kenny Omega.
Yeah. But Jay Lethal goes for a handshake. John does, William Regal slaps his hand out of the way. So, Jay Lethal was obviously kind of hurt by that. Dueling chants back and forth, let's go Lethal, let's go Moxley. German suplex by Moxley. he goes up. Lethal tosses him off the rope, and Moxley catches his groin on the ropes. Jay Lethal lands a tope suicida. Then we cut to a commercial. After the commercial, we have a "This is awesome" chant, and they're in the center punching each other in the ring, like literally one after another. Like literally, they just took turns punching each other in the face.
Yeah.
Nasty lariat by Moxley. Jay counters close kick out by Moxley at 2. Jay goes up top. Moxley knew that Lethal was going for the lethal injection, but he gave out and kicks out at 2. Then Jay goes up for a brainbuster and then hits an elbow drop to follow. Then Moxley kicks out at a 2. John rolls him up. Lethal kicks out at 2. Moxley then hits a paradigm shift for the win, and Moxley finally puts out his hand for Lethal to shake, and Lethal finally shakes his hand. So
yeah, I mean, it just adds to the fact that in order for Mox to respect you, you got to bleed for them first.
Exactly, and that's what I like about this storyline is we're getting progression from it. You know, we're not just getting Moxley wanted to, Moxley wanted Lethal to earn his respect.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what was shown here. I mean, especially with with the handshakes. I mean, that obviously is a big symbol there.
yeah.
And not really much else to say about this one. After the match, we did get a Marina. I'm gonna mess up her name again, Charlie, but Maria Shiver promo. say her name.
Maria Menounos? Is that who you're trying to say?
No, Maria. She was on versus she was on Rampage.
I believe in you.
I got
I have
this.
no idea what you're talking about.
We were talking about it before. The
Maria Kanellis?
No, we were talking about it before the podcast started, and I said you might need helping me with this name.
Oh, yeah, Maria Menounos, right?
Oh, is that Maria? So I put an S as her name, so I didn't know that her name was Maria Menounos. So anyway, I thought it started with an S. So anyway, we got a promo about Maria through later on in the match versus. We'll talk about it when we get there, but Jay Cargo promo. She calls Maria out. But anyway, then we get to FTR versus Gun Club.
Yeah, and this was surprisingly, and I'm not just being overly critical, I'm just saying this in the fact that it's the Gun Club's fault. This was my probably least favorite FTR match I've seen since I started watching pro wrestling again. It just didn't do it for me. The only shining light, in which probably the entire reason that the match was made, was when Wardlow came out. But just the whole situation didn't make sense. Why was MJF on commentary? You know what I mean? Like, I understand like the Pinnacle's there, but like we all know MJF only cares about himself. Like, he does not need to be on commentary.
Well, the whole
go for it.
I was gonna say the whole reason I think that MJF was on commentary was just to have that moment when Wardlow, which we'll talk about it after, but when Wardlow, interfered, I think that whole moment was just, that enhanced it because MJF was already out there.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that after you talk about the match,
But yeah, it wasn't a bad match. It was well wrestled. And a lot of the story kind of was that Gun Club couldn't finish their maneuvers, and FTR kept interfering. And there was a really cool moment in there where FTR kind of like acknowledged the fact that the Gun Club couldn't do anything. And then after Gun Club struggled some more, Billy Gunn hopped on the apron. And as it always does, when a heel tries to go up on the apron with some young guys, it never works out. You know what I mean?
Never works out.
He ended up hitting one of his own boys, and which led to, I believe, Big Rig, yep, which led to the Big Rig.
Yep.
If we want to just go straight to the bam to bam.
Yeah.
But what the match was about, the whole reason why we're here today is Wardlow.
Wardlow.
Yep, that was literally in my notes. I just have Wardlow in all capital letters.
I have kick out by Austin or Wardlow walks in the building.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And then all hell breaks loose, bro. It was so fucking funny. As like he was trying to get down to the ring, just one worker at a time, he would just starch. Just walk a little bit further, starch.
We should probably mention that. So Wardlow at this point was like in the concourse, and
yes.
He was on his way to like the steps leading down to the ring, like the steps leading down through the crowd, I guess you could say. Wardlow was literally chucking security guards over tables. He was power bombing them. He was
pissed.
He was pissed, bro. He came in there with a mission to beat up MJF, and he wasn't gonna stop until he got it.
Yeah. So what kind of I kind of picked up from the last time we talked, because I remember there was some confusion. It seems that MJF's contract with Wardlow prohibits him from signing with AEW. So he needs that contract to end before he can sign with AEW.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's why he's so passionate. That's why he just can't ignore it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fine match. It was my least favorite FTR match, but it wasn't because of FTR, and it wasn't even a bad match.
Yeah. After we also need to mention that after Wardlow interfered, the security overpowered finally over. Oh, you're not even done talking about the match yet, so.
Well, I hit the big rig, but Wardlow couldn't get very far. The security, there were just too many jobbers and dark fighters for Wardlow to handle.
Dude, there was like 15 or 20.
Dude, there were a shit ton. And we're gonna see all of them on Dark next week.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean that was just a great sight because it just it portrays Wardlow as this guy that nobody can handle.
Yeah, who MJF is terrified of.
Yeah. And after MJF really ran out to the ring and he got pissed at Dax, or I'm sorry, Dax was pissed at MJF for Wardlow interfering.
Yes.
That just to me that just shows that FTR is probably going to break away from MJF.
Yeah, it makes sense. They can't be faces and be in the Pinnacle at the same time. There's just no way.
No. So that's another group that we won't have anymore. So I mean, we're only gonna have 2 stables.
We got Dark Order, Blackpool Combat Club, Best Friends.
Well, the best. Oh, I guess the Best Friends are still.
They're kind of still there.
Yeah.
Not yet. They're not gone yet. And then Jericho Appreciation Society. They got 4.
And I think that's it. So speaking of Jericho, this is a great segue because
This is a great segue. Yeah, speaking about stables.
Speaking of stables, we get a JHS promo, and Chris Jericho takes the mic and says, I had fans all over the world, but none will be in the group but us 5. You saw that what the sports entertainers did to the pro wrestlers last week. Beat down from Santana, or I'm sorry. So then how last week, basically Chris Jericho and the JHS kind of go to the side where they're shooting this interview. It was in a garage. So he goes to the side of the curtain, and I think Matt Menard takes the first curtain back. And he's like, see, nobody in here. And then Jake Hager goes, see, nobody in here. And then that's when Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie Kingston appeared, and they started to beat down JHS. And Eddie dragged Chris to the ring. And meanwhile, Eddie was biting Jericho. He landed a wicked spinning head fist on Jericho. Then Santana kicked Garcia to the outside. Matt Menard through the steps, and then Jake Hager took everybody out that was in Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie Kingston, and JHS basically came up and took over with the numbers game. Beats everybody up, and Jericho then turns to everybody, Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie, and hits them all with the bats over and over again. He even whips Eddie Kingston with his belt, and it was just a total takeover by Jericho Honor Society here, or I'm sorry, Appreciation Society here. And then Judah effect to Kingston, and the JHS stands tall in the ring.
This went on for like 10 minutes.
At least.
Yeah, dude, this was so long and so boring, bro. This could have been 2 minutes, easy, bro. And just giving some more time for what's the new girl, Toni Storm. Just giving some more time for Toni Storm. You know, maybe a promo after the match. Actually, it doesn't matter. But yeah, this was so long, so boring. I was on Reddit and I literally commented like, "This is going on for so long, man."
I think before this match I was looking at my clock, and I think at like 8:40, I'm like, "Dang, we're already 1 hour through this pay-per-view." Mm-hmm. But I mean, we've been getting that a lot.
Yeah. These shows fly by. That's a sign of great wrestling.
Yeah. So I'm doing the Jade Cargill promo, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So all the promo basically was Jade Cargill was announcing her 30th win anniversary match against Marina Shafir. That's basically all the promo was.
Yeah, and there was some more to it. So Jade Cargill, Smart Mark said there's two options. There was the librarian. Yeah, right. And then Jade's like, I don't want to face no librarian, basically. Yep. So it's nice to see that Jade is getting sick of jobbing all these girls out, you know? Yeah. It's nice to see that she's going to actually have a good wrestling match, which she's had. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that her 30th match will be not a squash match.
Yeah, and did you know that Bryan Danielson is actually training Jade Cargill?
Yeah, that's probably why she's getting freaking amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, she's even improved her mic work. So I've noticed that she's actually getting very good on the mic.
Yeah, for sure. And then next up was Bryan Danielson versus Wheeler Yuta. And if you watched the first half, which you probably did if you're sticking around this long, Wheeler Yuta had a fantastic match against Josh Woods as he picked up the Pure World Championship for Ring of Honor. This match serves as kind of like a prequel of the match we talked about for Ring of Honor.
Yep.
So they kind of go hand in hand with each other. A lot of the moves that Yuta used against Danielson didn't worked against Josh Woods. I feel like I mentioned that before, right?
You did. Yep, you did.
Yeah. I just thought that was an amazing touch. But yeah, Yuta and Danielson were going super hard hitting, like pancreas, shoot style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like chops, slaps, punches.
And it was a very technical, very physical matchup.
Yes, extremely physical. But pretty much the whole match, William Regal was complimenting Wheeler Yuta, basically on his technique and his will to win. In a way, that's what he said verbatim, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Yuta kept coming forward, but eventually Bryan Danielson did get a leg lock, which is one of his signature moves, and just what he uses to wear down his opponents to set up his other moves, which I thought was, Bryan Danielson's the greatest wrestler in the world. I don't need to give you an explanation for his moves,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the stories that Wheeler Yuta was trying, but Bryan Danielson was out grappling him. A really cool spot was that Wheeler Yuta reversed the cattle mutilation, which we haven't seen before. Bryan Danielson's been able to do it flawlessly up to this point, and gets a near fall. And Bryan Danielson kind of like takes a step back and like acknowledges the fact that Wheeler Yuta almost just pinned him, right? But yeah, after that, Bryan Danielson gets control again, hits him with the knee, out grapples him, hits him with all of his signatures, and finally hits the bell lock. And Wheeler Yuta he doesn't tap out. He passes out, which is really important for a face.
Yep.
Heels step out, faces pass out.
Yep.
It has to be that way. But yeah, it did its work. I was really hoping to see William Regal come to the ring and shake his hand or something like that. We didn't get any of that. Hopefully next week.
Correct.
I need Yuta in the Blackpool comeback.
I think, especially after we saw what we saw with Ring of Honor, I think we're headed that way.
Yeah.
I think, what do you call it? I think a big thing to this matchup too was like Regal. Correct me if I'm wrong. Regal was on commentary for this match, and Regal was praising the knowledge of Wheeler Yuta. So that was great. Because to me, like it just shows that Yuta is just gonna join this group, and it's gonna be great to see him kind of transform into this great wrestler.
Yeah. Let me see how old this dude is. I think he's like 24, right? 25.
25.
Yeah, he's young.
He's literally 1 year older than MJF, eh? That's it.
He's got time to grow into his into a bigger build if he wants to be that more technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of got the Adam Cole conundrum where you're a small guy who doesn't do high flying moves. Wheeler Yuta's, I think, trying to push away the high flying moves, kind of get more into technical.
Yeah.
But to do that, he needs to bulkier build, so it makes sense, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. So after this match, we had a Andrade versus Darby promo. The Andrade versus Darby promo was just getting you ready for the main event. And then after that, we had the Adam Cole and Red Dragon Championship celebration. And the first thing I have written in my notes here, Charlie, is when all three members of... So they actually announced their new name tonight, and it's going to be the Undisputed Elite.
Yep.
So the Undisputed Elite all came out, and so Adam Cole had the World Championship, and then Red Dragon had the Tag Team Championships because Adam Cole, stole them. And all three of them had a piece of tape covering over the names of the actual champion at the time, and they wrote their names over it.
They did.
So that was a great.
And Kyle O'Reilly's name was, I don't know if you saw it, but like the E was backwards. I guess he's playing the part of the dumbass.
Well, so actually, I listened to a Kyle O'Reilly podcast, and he was saying that they wanted to be different. So that's why if you look at their spelling of their name, that's why the E and the D are capitalized, because they wanted to be different.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Adam Cole welcomes everybody to the Undisputed Elites Championship celebration, and he says Adam Hangman and Jurassic Express aren't here because they're embarrassed we stole the titles from them. Adam says you can't steal something that belongs to you. AEW has the best 3 pro wrestlers on a team. Kyle O'Reilly said rankings don't matter, but he needs to sit down because he feels sick. And that spot really felt really weird to me.
He
literally just like sat down.
Yeah, I think what happened is he butchered a line and he tried to save it by telling a joke. I think is what happened. Gotcha. And then he just sold it for the rest. But yeah, I have that in my notes too, that was a weird situation.
And then Bobby Fish said, I'll put our resume up against anyone in this industry. Adam Cole says the celebration will go all week. And then we see Adam Page drive a Tesla with Longhorn horns to the ring. I mean, hey, it did the job for me.
It did the job, yeah.
Pretty
and
great.
Feel efficient.
Feel efficient. You love to see it. Red Dragon takes Cole out of the ring before Page hits the buckshot. And then Jurassic Express were on the apron, and Page sends Cole flying, and the champions take back their titles.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool little fun little spot, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that, like, kind of, I noticed this during the JHS promo, is, like, so last week, if we remember, during Dynamite last week, the same thing happened to where, like, JHS was like, Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston, aren't here, and they weren't there. So it was weird for me to see in both of these instances on this show, when they actually said like they're not here, they were both actually there.
They were there.
So
they did it twice in one show.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because usually if somebody says they're not here, they're not there.
Mm-hmm.
But
unless they are there. But that's a big moment, and they did it twice.
Yeah. But
it was also weird, and sorry to backtrack a few segments ago. But now that we're on that topic, it was weird that Eddie Kingston and his squad was there, and they still lost the fight.
Yeah, that was also very.
But anyways, that's just a little thing. Moving on.
Yeah. So that was it for the Undisputed Elite promo.
Yep, and then we got a Thunder Rosa at the top of the ramp with Tony Schiavone, and basically says or starts the promo that she tried to start last week before getting extremely rudely interrupted by Nyla Rose. This was her basically saying how she will never back down, and how, in a really cool line was, I have this quoted here: "Pillars get knocked down, but foundations remain standing." Thought that was a fantastic line right out of a movie. I have a note here, and it says that she will be the face of women's wrestling. I mean, who else will be, right?
Yeah, and I even have it in my notes too. I literally put Thunder Rosa promo, and then in parentheses, can she get a word out?
Literally though, like it seems like every single time that she gets a microphone in front of her face, somebody tries to kick her ass.
Excuse me.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, it was a promo.
Yeah.
Nothing too out of the ordinary. She's just trying to set up the Nyla Rose promo.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, and we'll just go straight to the Nyla Rose promo, Nyla Rose pre-tape. So I love Nyla Rose so much. I thought this promo was fantastic. And it sold me that she is a beast. And before, she was kind of using Vicky as her mouthpiece. But she can talk. Like, she can cut her own promo.
Yeah, I really don't see the need for Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero can get the hell off my television.
Yes, she has go-away heat, which in a way may be just the exact kind of heat she wants, but still is so annoying.
She is so annoying, bro. I hated her in WWE, and literally she's the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I'm watching wrestling with somebody, everybody's like, "Oh my god, I hate her." Yeah. So, but after that, it was there was a little FTR pre-tape, but they were just hyping up the Bucks match.
Yeah, they
just about did a better job of that, anyways.
Yeah, they just.
Do you want to get into the Bunny match?
Yep. So we have the Bunny versus an unknown. This is the Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifier. So the Bunny comes down to the ring, and I couldn't really hear her music, but all I saw was Toni Storm on the Titantron, and I marked out a little bit, not gonna lie. I really haven't had a chance to watch any. I really didn't watch any Toni Storm matches just because me and you have watched AEW for the past 9 months. But at the same time, I was so excited for Toni Storm to be in AEW, just like I am for Athena to be in AEW when the time comes. It's only going to elevate the division more. And, I mean, Toni Storm was amazing in NXT, so I just can't wait to see what we get for in AEW with Toni Storm. So, in the match, Toni Storm starts with a nice snap suplex, and then later in the matchup, Toni was working Bunny's shoulder. Storms go outside, and Bunny hits a charging lariat, and then we cut to commercial. We come back, and both people were on the ground in the middle of the ring. Strikes back and forth. Toni Storm with a big lariat. Toni Storm then pulled out a headbutt, which I thought was pretty nice because you really don't see girls pulling out a headbutt. Then she pulled out the headbutt, then the high boot, and then a fisherman suplex. Bunny kicks out. Bunny picked Toni Storm up with a Death Valley driver. Storm kicks out. and then 2 thrust kicks from Toni Storm. Toni kicks out. I'm sorry, from the bunny, Toni Storm kicks out. And then the bunny was looking for the rabbit hole, but Storm counters and hits Storm Zero for the win. Storm Zero looks like a beautiful move, and I can't wait to keep seeing that for her finisher. And she's the first person to qualify for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifier.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of Alex Shelley. Her moveset and even her look is very Alex Shelley. Let's put a picture of Alex Shelley really quick.
I mean, well, yeah, we can do.
But yeah, I was a huge fan. Just like you, I haven't seen any of her stuff before. But overall, it was very impressive. I like her striking. It looks very real.
So this is they won't be able to see you for a second, Charlie.
Yep.
That's not it. There we go. So this is Alex Shelley right here. We actually saw him in GCW when we went.
Yep, he faced Matt Sydal.
Yeah,
Matt Cardona.
So great match there. But we're not talking about GCW right now, so.
No, we're talking about Toni Storm, but she had a great debut. Yeah, shout out to the bunny for always putting the gals over. It sucks for the bunny. I don't think she will get her time to shine. But she is really good at putting other people over, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like the bunny is with Andrade's family office still, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I really don't see the bunny as. To me, I really don't see the bunny as much more than a jobber.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think her character's interesting. I think her look is cool. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. There are more talented female wrestlers with more exciting movesets who have a lot more bumps left on their card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Than the bunny. So I don't think she'll get her time to shine, but I do appreciate her presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, after that, it was announced that Butcher and the Blade versus the Hardys in a tables match.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so next Wednesday, that will be a match, which, man, remember, I said this the past 2 weeks in our practice runs. Jeff doesn't have many bumps on his bump card left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing a tables match, bro.
Dude, like 2 days ago we just saw him jump from the or not 2 days ago, a week ago we saw him jump from the side of the arena onto the table with Butcher and Blade. So
yeah, so this is just solidifying the fact the Hardy run will be a short-lived one, a short, impactful one where they're gonna get to the title, but they're not gonna win it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think that'll be a fun little story, and then afterwards Jeff can do his little clappy things to the crowd, and then that'll be the end of the Hardys.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting into the main event here, we had Andre El Idolo versus Darby Allin, and this is my match of the night, or at least for Dynamite, not for Ring of Honor. Definitely for Dynamite.
Also my match of the night.
Yeah, but every single Darby Allin match is the same. But they're all so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like Darby's like last match where he actually stayed in the ring the whole entire match was versus CM Punk, and that was back in September.
Yeah. So it was just the normal Darby thing where he gets thrown around for like the first 10 minutes, and then like the opponent does something cocky, and Darby Allin takes advantage, and then like the last quarter of the match or so, he'll get some offense. This was basically an Andre El Idolo showcase. This is basically AEW saying Andre El Idolo is a main eventer, right? He is taking this company by storm, and he just pinned Darby Allin. That was what AEW was saying. There was some shenanigans from Butcher and the Blade, but there was a really cool spot where they were just in the middle, literally fists clenched, swinging, no blocking, just swinging at each other. And it was cool because it showed that Andre was hitting harder but Darby was always coming back all the way up until he couldn't.
And I think that's when both men both fell simultaneously, right?
Yeah, which was a huge pop from the crowd. But yeah, like I said, Butcher and the Blade then gets involved. And Andre Alidolo gets a DDT variation. I'm not actually. Do you know what he calls that?
I do not. I just put that he hit a backbreaker, and then he hit a wrist lock, and then a buckle bomb, and that was it.
Yeah. So after the buckle bomb, there was a weird DDT variation.
So I do not have that.
Where he like pinned Darby's arm behind him. But yeah, I'm not sure what it was called, but yeah, it's cool. It was a fine match. What do you think?
I think it was a great match.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite things was Andrade like kind of countered a move from Darby, and Andrade ended up tossing Darby over his head, like what Keith Lee did when he showed up. So I thought that was a great moment. Anytime you launch somebody in the air, like 10 feet up in the air, is a great moment.
Yeah, it is a great moment.
You won't get any complaint out of me for that. Darby hit a nice looking stunner on Andrade. That was it.
I didn't even mention the stunner.
And then that was all I have. A nice looking crucifix 2 by Andrade that he transitioned into a wrist lock. That was pretty nice. And yeah, I mean, after you already talked about it, but well, not really, but
yeah. So after the match, the Andrade family, what do they call it? Andrade family office.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Andrade family office starts to beat down on Darby. Sting tries to help. Or was Sting there? I don't know if Sting was there.
So Butcher and Blade enter the ring, and as soon as no, I'm sorry. So Sting entered before the match was over, and then Butcher and Blade came out and entered the ring, and then they immediately went after Sting when they came out.
Yes. And then after Darby and Sting were getting beaten down for a little bit, the Hardys come out to be huge pop.
Yep.
And they come out with chairs, right? Yep, they come out with chairs. And then, Jeff Hardy does the clap thing. Yep. And then, the Greatest Hits tour.
And then I believe was both the Swanton and the Twist of Fate by Jeff?
No, the Twist of Fate was Matt, and then Jeff hit like a weird ass Swanton on
Mercedes.
Which one was it?
I put Mercedes.
It was Mercedes? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was your Dynamite.
That was your freaking Dynamite. What was your match of the night?
Match of the night was the Andrade versus Darby Allin match. Anytime these two people get into the ring, it's just magic happens. And pro wrestling, Charlie.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me back up a little bit.
You can do that.
Just to get back on Darby Allin really quick. I think he needs like 3 or 4 dominant victories where he's winning the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe not squash matches, but like I feel like we need to be reminded that Darby Allin is a great wrestler. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he's been taking too many close losses, right? And I know that's kind of his character is that he fights as hard as he can. But I think that maybe just reminding the audience that he's the real deal. Like maybe get him a quick win over like a Gun Brother. You know what I mean? With no interference.
Well, and my thing is, why does Darby always have to lose these big matches? I mean, he lost to Punk. He lost to MJF. Yeah. He lost to, I mean, those are the big ones that I really only know of.
You got to remember, though, Darby Allin is the longest reigning TNT champion.
Is he?
Yes. So he had his time to shine, right? I think right now it's him putting other people over.
Gotcha.
And I think soon we're going to transition back to him being the winner. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I mean, we'll probably get something, if MJF wins the title like we were talking about earlier.
God! You have to say it, bro.
Imagine that match,
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, as soon that night, bro, when MJF wins the championship, that next night on Dynamite, or not next night, but the next Wednesday on Dynamite, that is going to be a great show that you do not want to miss. because
he's gonna like change everything up, put everything like his little design, like the ring around the ring and everything.
Like it's gonna be, and then it's just gonna be the whole crowd shitting on MJF.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It is gonna be great.
But yeah, for me, match of the night was same as you, Andre El Idolo for Darby Allin, and I just want to throw this in there too. Promo of the night. I don't know if you have one today, but I just wanted to throw it in there. Nyla Rose, promo of the night. I think she killed it.
I'm gonna say my promo of the night was the Adam Cole Championship celebration.
Dope.
I don't know why, but it was a good moment. I just love that.
Yeah, it was funny. It was pretty funny.
And I think we forgot to talk. Oh no, we didn't. Did we talk about our favorite matches from Ring of Honor?
Oh no, we did not. Let's go back to that really quick.
Yeah, let's go back to that really quick. So, my favorite match was the Briscoes versus FTR. Like
same. Said, not very exciting. Same thing for me.
Yeah, I mean that was literally the greatest tag team match I've ever seen. So.
Yeah. I mean, I rate all my matches out of 10.
Yeah.
I had the Bandito Gresham a 10, and I had the FTR Briscoes a 10. And Briscoes FTR, I believe, is the better match out of the two of those.
I had the Gresham versus Bandito as a 9, and then I had the Briscoes versus FTR as a 10. That's
completely fine. Yeah.
And yeah, so great. Couple of shows here. We're getting spoiled this weekend in wrestling.
We are. It's a great weekend to be a wrestling fan.
It is.
It's only Saturday morning. We got 2 more days of this.
Well, NXT, their stand and deliver pay-per-view is literally happening as we speak right now. And WrestleMania will be tonight at 8 p.m., I believe.
Okay.
And you'll get it tomorrow at 8 p.m. So, once we figure out what we're doing for the podcast for WrestleMania, we will inform you guys. And all that good stuff. So stay tuned to our Twitter. Turn your alerts on for our Twitters so you never miss a notification.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Have a great rest of your guys' days. Peace out, guys. This is Heel Turn and High Spots, episode 1.
Coming to you with your wrestling news.
Coming to you with your wrestling news. We will see you next time. Peace.
Hell yeah.